Good morning.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Good.
Looking forward to getting back. Hello, Tyler.
Can Emmy stay here with me and watch?
Of course she can. Absolutely.
What's your belt, buddy?
Do it.
Where's your belt?
That.
It's like a class of two.
Oh, we've got someone else joining now. We
Okay.
noticed this morning that we had the wrong link on the recorded classes page.
Yeah.
So that was a bit problematic. The news page had the right link, but I hadn't copied it over to the recorded classes page. The joy of duplicated information. Hello, Beef. Oh, there we go. Now I can see you guys.
Alex and Franz
Welcome.
Come on. Oh.
Okay, back in the dojo next week. Oh, lucky I'm not recording that.
Can I go and get a snack, Dad?
No, class is about to begin. You can't have a snack now. You have a snack after class.
I'm gonna eat it after Taekwon-Do.
Oh,
Yeah, you eat it after Taekwondo. That's right. Okay, let's get going, guys. Feet together, toes apart.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a great view of that cable, Mr. B. Oh, no, I see you. Awesome.
What?
Okay.
What are you doing?
Oh, somebody else wanting to come in. Oh, cool. Okay, family here. Lovely. Okay, let's go. Ready? Sit up. Kill me. Take one. Where's the little K? Oh, she's way over there. Okay, guys. Thank you for coming along. Back in the dojo next week, assuming nothing changes. If we're in level 2, then we'll just be having a level 2 protocols about wiping down pads and stuff like that. In the meantime, thanks for welcoming to your lounge. Let's get started. Rotate wrists. We're going to do some work on basics today. Change direction. We did a little bit of this during the week as well, but I don't think Dr. Y, you were here during the week, weren't you? Not sure that anyone else was. Elbows. So I apologize if there's a bit of repetition. Oh, there you are, Caitlin. Good morning. Change direction. Arms back. While we've got limited space, we're going to work on some things that make the most of a small amount of space. You going to join in too, Sabine? Even though you dress funny? Okay. Arms forwards. You can join in, Sabine. Okay, feet apart and twisting your torso. Just bend your knees a little bit. Okay, and feet together, put your hands on your knees. Be careful if you've got any problems with your knees, adults. Just down and back. Put your hands on your knees to support them. Okay, hands up by your brain. Oh, circling your legs outwards. Well, that's Mrs. B, comes to take attendance. And inwards. hips. Change direction. Okay, grab a chair. You'll be able to share a chair with your little one, but 3 of you might need 2 chairs. Oh. Trying to break my furniture. Okay. Oh, look at that, everyone's sorted. That's an awesome size chair, Tyler. It's not for sitting on, though. Stand up, you lazy little man. Okay. Just waiting for 2 more. Awesome. Now, one hand on your chair. That's it. Other hand up by your brain. And then just very gently, we're going to work on our front rising kicks. So for front rising kick, we're going to pull our foot back and pull our toes back. And then we're just going to gently lift that leg up and down. Just do that 12 times each leg. That's it. Just relax and lift. Okay. We've got 12 each leg. Next one, we don't do this one very often. I'm going to keep my feet. I'm just going to angle the computer down so you can see my feet. It's not a side rising kick because I'm going to keep both of my feet pointed towards the chair. But I am going to try and keep my body nice and straight. And just lift my leg up this way. 12 of those each leg. Don't stick your bum out, Tyler. So I'm not really leaning here. Both of my feet point straight ahead. Just see how high that foot can lift up. About 12 each leg. Remember to breathe. And then do 12 the other leg. A bit more space away from that. Okay, now we're going to do our side rising kicks. Now remember your side rising kick, I'm just going to show you facing the sideways here. I'm turning the foot that's not kicking away from my kicking direction. I make my guarding block, or I'm holding my chair, and then from here, when I lift up my leg, I don't want to stick my bum out like this. I want to keep my body on the straight line. I'm going to lean over a little bit and kick straight down that line. I'll show you sideways from here. The foot that's on the ground turns. I lean my body and then lift my leg up sideways. I'm kicking with my foot sword here. So my foot's pointing slightly downward when I kick. The most important thing is that your body retains that straight line and you don't stick your bottom out. You do that, everything else is easy. Let's do 12 of those each leg. Put both hands on your chair. Turn your supporting foot parallel to your chair, away from your kick, and then just gently swing up. Try and keep your shoulders open. So it's straight line with the body. Nice. Don't worry too much about height. Just try and get that body nice and straight. Okay. Cool. Now the exercises for the strength in our legs. We're going to work through, of course, our front snap kick, our turning kick, and our side piercing kick. Front snap kick from here, all I'm going to do, this is the pace I want, up, out, back, down. Just like that, 10 of those each leg. Make sure your leg comes up, your knee comes up first, and then you're snapping out and back. Knee out, then out and back. Knee up, then out and back. 10 each leg. Not kicking too fast here. Control. Good. I see some good foot positions. That's it. Foot position here. Excellent. Now, I want you to use your chair for your turning kick, because we're going to, remember, turn that supporting foot away, lift the knee up, like we're a dog at a lamppost here, and then out and back. And look at this foot position here. Slightly downward kicking with the ball of the foot, putting the toes out of the way. Okay, so from here, we're going to go all the way from the ground, up, out, back, down. 10 of those each leg. Imagine you're going over an obstacle, like lifting it over a table. Don't try and kick too high. Just work on the technique. Try and lift that knee up and then across the table and back again. Good, Dr. White. Nice. You just want to let it flow. Good. Then, Dr. White, just relax and let it flow through the motion. So up, out, back, down, just flows around. So that's it, becomes one motion, not two. Okay, cool. Now with our side piercing kick. Again, don't go too high. Use your chair because we're working on the technique here. Both hands on your chair. From here, when I lift my kicking leg up, I pivot my supporting foot and lean a bit. Straight out, stamping, pull it back, and down facing the chair again. So that foot that's on the ground is going to pivot with each kick. Up and pivot, stamp, back, pivot and down. Up and pivot, stamp, back, pivot and down. That's good. Again, not kicking too high. Make sure you breathe out when you stamp. The last couple, do double. So go out and back, out and back. You should find that both kicks stamp really nicely. Out and back, out and back. So if both kicks stamp, then you're retracting correctly. If the second one flicks, then you might not be retracting correctly. So if my second one goes like this, then I haven't pulled my leg back after my kick correctly. I've got to bring it back the same way it went in. Okay, and both legs, of course. Make sure you're not dropping your shoulders towards the ground. Keep that kicking shoulder up. And the last few, do double. Check that stamping is correct. Once you've done that, you can get rid of your chair and grab a drink. Okay, cheers away, grab a little drink. Have we lost Mrs. O, or is she just off camera? Oh, there she is. Cool, don't need the cheers now. Franz, why is Mum putting the chairs away? Your job. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep the camera deliberately low so that you can see my feet for the next few exercises. As I said, while we're in our confined space, we're going to practice a little bit the movement of our body. So we're going to start with our walking stance, and we're going to work particularly on two things. One is sine wave, and the other one is what we call an outcurve line. So sine wave is when your torso, we think about our head, the top of our head, but it's really our whole torso. We're springing our knees, so we go down, up, down. Okay, so you relax when you go down, you pull back ready to do your technique when you rise up and you're falling, and you land down. So your torso goes down, up, down. And it's the leg that's not moving is the one that does all the work. Just the spring of the knee, down, up, down. The other thing that happens when we do that is called the outcurve line, which is just a natural way of walking, right? When we walk, we don't actually walk with our legs straight in straight lines like this. Neither do we walk banging our feet together. Both of those are quite unnatural. A natural walking position, what you're actually doing is transferring your body weight onto one foot and then transferring your body weight on the other foot. It happens quite quickly, so we don't really notice we're doing it. Taekwondo is the same. From our stance, when we come forward or backward, we're going to come halfway towards the other foot, and then we rise up and fall into the next stance. Okay, that's called an outcurve line because my foot's coming in and then curving out again. Okay, it's a natural curve. Don't bring your feet all the way in together. That's just really unnatural. So when we do it from parallel stance, I transfer my body weight onto one foot. You can see my body's transferring a little bit. My body's moving. It does it naturally. So from here, I'm going 1, 2, 3. And my foot's going to do that same outcurve line. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So let's try it just with our feet. So we're focusing just on our feet. Put your hands on your hips, you put them by your head. Doesn't matter too much. For the first few, I want you to watch your feet from your parallel stance. 1, 2, 3. Feel the spring of that stationary leg. 1, 2, 3 of the knee. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Just go left and right yourselves now. Keep your shoulders straight. Now, we almost never look down when we're doing it. Well, in fact, we don't look down when we're doing Taekwondo movements. For now, we're just going to watch our feet for a moment, and then we'll do it with our head up normally. Okay? Feel the spring of that knee. Down, up, down. That's our 3 count, remember? Down is 1, up and falling is 2, landing is 3. 1, 2, 3. Think of that 3 count in your head. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now go from walking stance. 1, 2, 3. And then backwards. 1, 2, 3. And it's that stationary leg that pulls me forward and then pulls me backward. So my head goes down first, not up first. 1, 2, 3. Relax. The stationary leg bends to make me work. You see that my heel of the stationary foot's hardly even coming off the floor. So children, quite commonly, you're stepping forward and punching and doing this. My heel off the floor. There's no need for my heel to come off the floor, really. Because I spring that other knee. It'll come off a tiny bit sometimes, but it lands with the heel on the floor. So I want you to try that. Start just with your feet. Keep your shoulders nice and straight. We won't do hands just yet. Forward and back. Forward and back. Go. If I show you this way, you'll see my foot comes into the middle and then out again. Just naturally. Do each side maybe 20 times. Focus on it. Check your feet. Feel that movement in and out, just halfway. Got to keep that heel on the floor, Tyler. So that this foot here that's not moving, at the moment, you're keeping it quite straight. So you're coming up and then you're landing with your heel down. The first thing I have to do with this leg is bend it. Down, up, down. Down, up, down. Down, up, down. Then that heel can stay on the floor. And I can relax in my movement. You find in particular adults when you go backwards, the heel will come off the floor for a moment when you bend your knee, and that's okay. At the moment when you land, both heels will be on the floor. That's the important bit. Okay, now let's try 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Round in a circle. Only coming in halfway. Just what's natural. In and out. In and out. Same spring of that knee. Do both directions. Down, up, down. Down, up, down. Maybe a nice long stances, Caitlin. Make sure you're going to nice long stances. Big, solid steps. Big and solid. Okay, and pause and watch for a moment. One other little thing I want to point out to you that we're doing when we do this is the use of the hip. So I'll show you that turning in particular. From here, when I turn, my hips are on an angle now. As I come back, as I fall, and then as I land, I jerk my hips, and that gives me a lot of power. So where my hips allow me to do that, I absolutely make the most of it. So I'm facing on an angle in this down position. Then I rise up and drop and spin. It's only about 5 or 10 centimeters of rotation of the hip, but you get a tremendous amount of power from it. So try and add that a little bit as well. So we've got our in and out. We've got the foot coming slightly in and going out again. We've got our down motion, down, up, down. And then we're getting a little bit of boom, explosion from the hip. Not too much, just a little bit that the hip naturally allows. Remember your gunansagi, lock that back leg nice and straight. Really lock it out. Front leg's bent over your ankle. Strong, stable stance. This is your immovable stance. Get a team of guys pushing you. I can't move. I'm stuck here. You're not moving me. Well, okay, you're immovable in your walking stance. Good. Make sure when you land in that walking stance, you lock that back leg straight and push the heel into the floor. Push the heel into the floor. Not quite so far in, Dr. Y. You're coming a little bit too close to the other foot. Just coming halfway. Just halfway. There we go. Just let it be natural. When you stop focusing on it, a lot of the stuff will happen automatically. Okay, come on. We're going to add one little complexity to these foot movements, and that's our step turning. So you yellow stripes in particular, you've got backward step turns in Chonji. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you this. Okay, first up, I'll describe for you the difference between spot turning and step turning, just so you know the difference. And then we're going to do the step turning exercise. A spot turn is when I don't move forward and backward at all. Well, really very much, okay? So if I pivot on my front foot and turn around and face the other way, that's called a spot turn pivoting on my front foot. If I pivot on my back foot and turn the other way, it's called a spot turn pivoting on the back foot. Not hard, right? Notice though, that when I do that, look at where my body line is here. If I pivot on the front foot and face that way, this leg is going to go over there. So I've gone sideways an entire stance. When I spot turn, I'll tend to go sideways a bit, okay? That's a spot turn, pivoting on the front foot or pivoting on the back foot. There's one other type of spot turn where you actually move your front foot onto your center line. So you don't move sideways quite as far. So you come in a little bit here to halfway, back to where your heel was, and then you pivot and turn around. It's called a spot turn because I'm not moving forward or backwards very much. 1 and 2. And I can actually do that on the rear foot as well. It's moving my rear foot on the center line. So you'll see when I do that, I don't move sideways quite so far. It's only half a stance, okay? Sideways. Now that's spot turn, moving your front foot on the center line is first done on the green stripe pattern, the Dosan. And moving your rear foot on the center line is not done until our third degree pattern, Hushin. Okay, now, step turning is when you move forward or backward an entire stance. Okay, so if I'm going to go a forward step turn, I go forward and I turn around. So I'm pivoting on one foot. That's it. Now I can either turn clockwise or I can turn counterclockwise. Okay, so we get forward step turn clockwise and forward step turn counterclockwise. I'm going forward, I'm turning around, and in that case I turn counterclockwise. Okay. If I go backwards, it's a backward step turn. So from here, backward step turn clockwise, backward step turn clockwise, backward step turn counterclockwise. Okay. Now the difficult thing about step turning is it feels different depending on which foot is forwards. So here, this is a backward step turn clockwise. But if I change legs, this is a backward step turn clockwise. Okay, the first one with my right leg forward, when I turn clockwise, I'm spinning towards my back. With my left leg forward, I'm spinning towards the front. Okay, so it's just a bit, you got to think about it when the instructor says backward step turn clockwise, go. You have to think which way is clockwise. Now, that was enough discussion. Now we're going to do it just with our feet again. So from here, we're going to do those first few movements of Chon-Ji. Again, notice when I do my backward step turns, I'm going to move sideways an entire stance, as well as moving backwards an entire stance. I also want you to notice I'm going down and turning. Then when I'm on an angle here, that's when I come up and fall into my stance and throw my hips into it. If you go up too early, you'll have a lot of difficulty getting your balance and landing in a good stance. So I want to go down and turn, up, land. Okay, so from Chon-Ji, everyone can do this. Doesn't matter if it's your first or second section. One, oh, got to give myself some more space. Low block, punch, low block, punch. But when I keep doing that, I'm going to keep moving towards the rear of my room. Low block, punch, low block, punch. Now we're just going to do feet first. Backward step turn, step. I'm spinning towards my back. Okay, we got it. We got this. We got this. Okay, starting here. Step left and do a walking stance. Now step forward. Now I'm going to spin on that back foot and take a step backwards. Turn around. That's our backward step turn clockwise. Then step forward. Now we're going to spin on the back foot. This time going counterclockwise. And then step forward. And then again. And again. And when you run into the wall, it's time to adjust your position, because you will move sideways. Okay. That's it. Think about your balance. It's a really difficult movement and it takes some time to get right. The other thing I want you to do is when you've done your step, check that your stance is correct. Then step again. Turn, check your stance is correct. Make sure you haven't stepped too wide, too narrow. Make sure both feet are pointing forwards. Then step forward. After you turn, check your stance. Make sure you landed purposefully where you landed. You didn't fall. You've got your train tracks. You've got your length. This is the hardest movement in Chon-Ji. Franz, watch. Okay, from here, stand with me in front of the camera like this, facing forwards. Now we're going to step to the left and go like this. Step to the left in a walking stance. Go. Doesn't matter if you go right, actually. Now we're going to go step forward. Now that back foot's going to stay where it is, and I'm going to turn all the way around and do another walking stance. Turn towards your back. That's it. And forwards. And then we're going to spin towards our back and do it again. And forwards. Spin towards the back. Adjust your stance each time. Remember your 3 counts here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Count it out to yourself. When you're doing your step turn, 1 is down. Now I'm facing this way before I go 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And come on. Okay. Now, we're just going to add the hands to it, but first we're going to do the hands by themselves. So remember from here in parallel stance, we're going 1 is relax, 2 is pull back, 3 is punch. 1, 2, 3. When we relax, our hand comes off the hip a little bit, the other hand bends a little bit, then we pull back on 2 and we punch on 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, relax. Then we're going to go pull back, punch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Now let's do it with our block. 1 is in front of chest. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Pause on 2 if you need to for a bit to check that you're crossing on top, smashing 2 watch faces together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just slow it down. 1, 2, 3. No, you were right before, Mrs. Kate. Yes, correct. That's it. 1, 2, 3. That one's the wrong way around. Cross over that one again. Switch up. Switch over. Yeah, that's it. Blocking one's on top. Blocking one's on top. That's correct. Now you're blocking with that top hand. Good. Yes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. It takes some repetition. When you're sitting down watching Netflix, you can do this to create that muscle memory. Okay. And pause for a moment. So the key thing that I wanted to work on there is that 1, 2, 3 count, because we're going to add that to the feet. So initially we can go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now remember, 2 happens from here. 1, 2 happens when I'm passing the other foot and I'm going to fall forward. I can't stop on 2 or I'll fall on my face. And then I land on 3. So from here, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'll move back so you can see my feet a bit better. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, I want you to choose your exercise. You might be going 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If you're feeling comfortable, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Go. So you can either just do it forward and backward, or you can do those 4 movements from Chonji. It's all about the sine wave, that out curve line, crossing and blocking in your, or punching on your 3 count. Or you can do the turning from Sajujegi. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'll stop counting now so that I don't interrupt yours. Try and keep your foot parallel to the floor. Don't point your toes to the floor. And it's only about 1 centimeter off the ground. We don't lift our foot too high because then we'll end up stamping. Just let it glide across the floor. Dr. Y, you've got a tendency to come up first. You're pushing with the front foot first. You want to pull first with the back foot. So I go down first. Pull with the front foot, down first. So don't push and then pull. Okay? Pull with that stationary leg. So the first movement of your torso is down, not up. And then just try and keep that foot flat to the floor. Just put your toes out of the way and glide it along the floor. Yes, Mrs. K, that's it. So yellow stripes and above, you should be able to start working at some point soon on those turns, on the backward step turns, because that's your syllabus stuff. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'll stop counting again so I don't interrupt you. So add your blocks and punches to those turns. And come on. Okay, grab a drink. Dr. Y, try, yeah, that's it. Yes, try not to lift that foot too far off the floor. Try and keep it parallel to the floor. Just lift your toes out of the way so they don't get caught, but keep it flat and parallel to the floor. So lift your toes like you were doing a turning kick. That way, that's it. That way the toes don't get caught. Okay, and relax. Okay, I'm going to describe the next movement I was going to work on, but we're not going to do it because we've done enough of that stuff for today. We're going to do something different. But I do want to describe how to do it with a forearm guarding block because we do so many of these when we kick. When we're holding pads for each other, we always want a strong guarding block afterwards because it just puts your mind in the right frame and you want that block to be automatic because it's a really, really good defensive movement. So our L stance, of course, 1.5 shoulder widths long in theory, although for us, what I tend to think about, we make our walking stance punch, our fist lines up vertically with our third toe. If I then angle my feet and pull that front foot back about the width of my foot and change my body weight so I've got a little bit more, 70% on my back leg, that's my L stance. My feet pointed one sideways, one forward. Makes an L shape. The heel and the toe are on the same line. Okay, so that's my L stance. The movement that I want us to play with at some point is our guarding block, where we start hands in front of chest, we pull back, so the blocking hand comes in front of the opposite badge. The guarding hand comes up eye level, and then I arc around to my guarding position. So if I do it sideways, you'll see that if something were coming straight at me towards my body here, I'm going to smash it away. Okay, that's the movement. Be very careful not to drop your hands. If you drop your hands, it starts becoming circular and your block doesn't go in the right direction. Or some people they'll do the intermediate position from down low like this, and then it just rises up and it doesn't block. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Get a little hip movement in it as well. Bam, it's really explosive. So when we do our kicks, we want to go kick, 1, 2, 3. And I don't drop my hands. Notice my hands stay up all the time. Okay, but we'll do a bit of work on that next Saturday if you remind me. What I want to do now, a little bit of fun, adults and kids, we're going to do some releasing techniques. So remember our releasing techniques for white and yellow belt. It's all wrist grabs. So somebody could grab your wrist either from the same side of your body or the opposite side, and you're opposing the thumb. Let's try the wrist up grabs today. From here, someone grabs my wrist, I'm going to drop down and twist out of the thumb. Okay, so if it's the same side grab this way, I'm going to twist down this way. If they grab me on the opposite side, so their thumb's over here, then I twist down this way. I can add power to that by putting my other hand on top and really reaching down on it. And the secret to getting power is, again, in your hips. So from here, if someone's grabbed, or from here, if someone's grabbed, I want to open my hips up and then boom, explode into it. Drop your stance, good strong hip movement here or here. So we've got mums and kids, work together, grab each other, be careful. Remember, if your wrists get a little bit red and sore, we toughen up. If somebody grabs both of your wrists, do one and then the other one. Don't do both together because then you expose yourself to a headbutt. That's bad. So we go one and then the other one. Unless you need two hands, in which case you just do two hands and get your hands straight back up. So drop straight down. Make sure you drop into your stance. Drop into that walking stance. Kids, doesn't matter how if mum and dad grab you hard, you should still be able to get out with a good strong release using all of your body weight. Don't pull away, Emmy. You've got to drop down. One at a time, Caitlin. That's it. Good girl. Caitlin, remember, keep your hands up. So release one, get it straight back up, then release the other one. That's it. That one there, that's the girl. Good. Use your walking stances, Caitlin. Drop into your stance. That way you get your body weight into your release. Don't just release with your arms. You've got to release with your whole body. Mrs. O, that was a low risk grab, so your release is this way. And pause for a moment. Now, we've done our low grabs before where we're going this way, or maybe we're releasing over the top of the thumb this way. And we've done our high grabs. So if you're comfortable with all of those, here's the next drill. One person's going to close their eyes and hold their arms out like this. Another person's going to grab their wrist. As soon as your wrist is grabbed, you open your eyes and boom, release out of it. And then close your eyes again. As soon as it's grabbed, boom, release out of it. Open your eyes, release out of it, and then close your eyes again. Go. Show how cool you are. Release out of wrist grabs with your eyes closed. Nice, Mrs. Kate. One at a time is good. Guard your brain as much as you can. Okay, pause. Now, if you're comfortable, you don't have to just grab somebody from in front of them. So you don't just have to stand in front of them and grab this way. You might go over beside them and grab them this way. Then you got to feel where that thumb is. If you're really tricky, you might want to go behind them like this, grab them this way. See whether you can get out like that. So keep going, eyes closed. Now you don't have to grab them from the front. You might be in a different position. And then I want you to feel where the thumbs are. Release out of the thumbs. Just releasing. Remember, after we release now, make sure you're remembering your release, step back, hands up. Hey, back off, leave me alone. Stop it, I don't like it. Don't grab me, whatever that may be. Step back, get your hands up after you release. Hey, stop it, I don't like it. Yo, back off, leave me alone. Okay, so release, step back, get the hands up. Open hands when you step back. This looks like you're going to fight. This looks like you're passive. One more minute. Nice, Caitlin. Okay, other person, 1 minute. Good, Caitlin. Now, Caitlin, that last one where your mum did it from behind you like this, the first thing you might want to try to do is just step around so you can see her, so that she's not grabbing you around the shoulders. So step and then boom, then release. So step as soon as you grab, step away. Step away, other way. There we go. Don't step into the grab. And come on. Okay, face your partner. To do it. Come in. Thanks, guys. Now let's do some stretching. Oh, light stretch. Sitting down, both legs out. One leg over the top of the other one. Keep your torso nice and upright and twist the torso. So that 3 count stuff is really, really important. Remember, you might want to draw some notes into your notebook today. Remember that out curve line with your feet where it comes in halfway to the other foot and then out again. The sine wave where you pull yourself down with that stationary leg, either going forwards or coming backwards. It goes down first. As you pass the other foot, you rise up and lose your balance and then fall into your stance. And then the 3 count with your hands. 1 is hands are relaxed. So when you're blocking, you might just have your hands in front of your chest. If you're punching, it's one hand's relaxed off the hip, the other one extended out, and then pull back and then punch. I'm not sure whether last week, I know I mentioned a couple of times, change legs. Might have been this week. The training secret of Taekwon-Do. Now, adults, I believe we put this in your white belt handbook. Okay, so there's a page in there. It's on page 42 of the condensed encyclopedia, but I can't remember what page it is of your white belt handbook, so you'll find it. It's called Training Secret of Taekwondo. This is the condensed encyclopedia, the 1999 edition. Some of the other editions are on my bookshelf. From here, page 42, which, as we all know, is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. There we go. Meaning of life, Training Secret of Taekwondo, right there, like it was planned. There's 9 elements to it. And the reason I just wanted to bring it up now is because that 3 count, it says here, number 7, all movements must begin with a backward motion, with very few exceptions. However, once the movement is in motion, it should not be stopped before it reaches the target. Okay, so that's why we have that relax, then a backward motion, and then explode. And we don't stop in what we call that intermediate position. So where you're crossing, your hands shouldn't stop. They pass through that. So here, not 1, 2, like this. 1, 2, 3. As soon as it crosses, it changes direction and explodes. Number 8 is also very pertinent to what we've done today, to create a sine wave during the movement by utilizing the knee spring properly. Now, both legs straight out in front and leaning forward. And then all the other good stuff is in here as well. Hands, foot, eye, breath, finishing together. Breathe out briefly at the moment of impact, all that sort of stuff's all in the training secret. So as I say, it's in your white belt handbook. Homework is for someone to tell me what page it's on. And up and down, if you haven't already. Heels in, gently pushing down on your knees. Remember to breathe deeply. Try and feel those muscles that are being stretched. Breathe slowly and focus on trying to relax those muscles. Generally, our stretches in class aren't long enough for good improvements, because you'll find that after holding a stretch for about 20 seconds, the muscles will naturally relax and you can go a little bit deeper into your stretch. You get an instant reflex when you stretch where your muscles kind of tighten up. And then as the position is held, they go, oh, I'm safe here. I don't have to worry about what's happening here. And they'll relax off. And then you can get a little bit deeper into your stretch. Quite often in our class stretches, that we just don't spend enough time on this. Can't do everything. Okay, and legs apart. I find that to get my legs apart here, I just lift my bottom off the ground, pull my toes back, and then just push forward a little bit. My legs will open out a little bit more. Stretch up nice and tall. Keep that torso nice and upright, and then just lie down onto one of your legs. reaching over the top with that top arm, looking through the gap. It's a good stretch for the side of your body as well as your leg. You'll feel instantly your leg will tighten up. Focus on that. And then just try and think about relaxing that leg muscle. And up, nice and tall, and go to the other side. Twist your body sideways. That's it, reaching over the top with that top hand's good. Feel when that leg relaxes. You will find that when you're breathing deeply, when you're stretching, every time you breathe out, you can go a little bit lower, extend a little bit further. And when you're doing stretches like this, I'm trying to extend my body forward. So I'm trying to get my head towards my foot rather than curling my body up. Trying to extend it out. And up, breathe in, and down to the middle. Try and push your tummy down towards the ground. So that work that we did today, even green belts and yellow belts, that stuff we did on sine wave is really, really important for you guys as well. Okay, so practice that gentle down, up, down motion. So Caitlin, for example, watching your patterns, you're getting the movements, which is great. We've just got to add that how your body moves into your movements. And then you'll find you get nice, long, strong stances and you'll flow really nicely into each movement, okay? So your homework, Caitlin, is to take that practice that we did today on that sine wave, that down, up, down, and that 3 count, and try and apply it to Dangun. So you can think about each movement in Dangun. And sitting up. From here, if you just lean backwards and then pull your bottom back, you'll see your legs will drag in naturally. Give them a shake. Then standing up, left leg behind. If anybody's wondering, the reason that the class doesn't start on Zoom until about 1 or 2 minutes too is actually because I record them automatically. Otherwise, I'll forget to record them. And if I started the class 10 minutes early, we'd have 10 minutes and nothing before the class began. And it takes ages to cut stuff out. So I'm sitting here waiting to push the start button. And hopefully you're sitting there entered as well. And then as soon as I hit start, everyone automatically comes in. Or I admit people. So we are here 10 minutes early. We're just not started. And change. Give you a little shake. Turn to the left and tidy up. Thank you, everyone. I hope you got something out of tonight's class. Remember to write some notes down. Training secret of Taekwondo is a key one. How your feet move and how your body moves in that sine wave. Draw some diagrams to help you remember that. And keep practicing. And I look forward to seeing you in the dojo next week. Sit up. Kill me. Taekwondo. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Kids, make sure you're helping mum and dad.
Bye, Mr. B.
Bye, Tom.
Bye, Mr. B.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.